A sudden burst of gunfire shatters the monotony of a routine U.S. Navy helicopter patrol off Somalia, forcing a split-second decision that will set 5 pirate skiffs on a collision course with some of the most advanced warships in the world. At the height of a piracy epidemic, when even an aircraft is in the crosshairs, what unfolds next tests every layer of U.S. naval response and leaves a trail of unanswered questions about how a single act of hostility escalates into an international showdown. How did a stealthy pirate group trigger a high-stakes trap at sea? Somali pirate groups operate far from shore, often hundreds of miles out in the Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean. Their reach extends well beyond the coastline, thanks to hijacked fishing vessels or dhows that serve as floating bases, so-called motherships. From these platforms, teams of 3 to 6 armed skiffs fan out, each loaded with fuel drums, ladders, and automatic weapons. AK-47 rifles and rocket-propelled grenades are standard equipment, making these small boats a serious threat to any commercial ship they approach. The scale of the problem is staggering. During the peak years between 2008 and 2012, pirate attacks surged, with over 200 incidents reported in a single year. Even now, attacks are on the rise again, with a 50% jump in 2025 alone. Pirates have targeted everything from oil tankers to container ships. The 2009 hijacking of the Maersk Alabama, a U.S.-flagged cargo vessel, brought global attention to the danger facing merchant crews in these waters. In that case, pirates boarded the ship using skiffs, armed with rifles and rocket-propelled grenades, and only a swift military response prevented disaster. The vast expanse of ocean and the speed of pirate attacks mean that surface ships alone cannot provide enough coverage. That is why naval helicopters like the MH-60 Seahawk are constantly in the air. Their job is to spot fast-moving skiffs before they close in on vulnerable ships, giving the fleet a fighting chance to respond in time. For merchant captains, a sudden appearance of pirate boats on the horizon is more than a scare. It is a race against time, and often their only hope for rescue comes from the sky. Low over the water, an MH-60 Seahawk tracks a cluster of fast skiffs, its sensors sweeping for signs of trouble. The helicopter's radar and forward-looking infrared camera scan the surface, relaying every detail back to the ship. Crew members, eyes fixed on their displays, call out positions and speeds. On the open ocean, the Seahawk is exposed, well within the range of rifles and even machine guns carried by pirate crews. Coalition reports confirm that pirates have fired on helicopters during these patrols, forcing air crews to break off or maneuver hard to avoid incoming rounds. In one documented case, pirates on a hijacked fishing vessel opened fire as a Seahawk closed in for identification. The crew escaped unharmed, but the incident triggered an immediate response from nearby naval forces. Standard procedure leaves little room for hesitation. Any hostile fire directed at a helicopter is treated as a high-threat event. The aircrew's first job is to survive, climbing out of range or taking evasive action, while sending a rapid contact report to the ship's Combat Information Center. That report instantly elevates the situation, shifting the operation from surveillance to active interdiction. As one retired Seahawk pilot says, "You are never more vulnerable than when you are low and slow, eyes on a skiff, and you see muzzle flashes below." At that point, the rules are clear. Get safe, get the word out, and let the fleet take over. Inside the Combat Information Center, operators study a mosaic of sensor data converging from air and sea. The Seahawk's radar feed paints a picture. 5 fast-moving skiffs, each track tightening in formation, closing the gap toward a merchant vessel. The helicopter's forward-looking infrared camera confirms it, with distinct heat blooms from outboard engines, multiple figures on deck, ladders and barrels visible in the open. None of these boats broadcast an automatic identification system signal. On the radio, the aircrew's voice is tense and direct. Bridge, Seahawk. Multiple skiffs, 5 total. No automatic identification system. High speed. Weapons and ladders observed. Attempted small arms fire at aircraft. Surface search radar on the ship overlays these contacts, assigning track numbers, skiff 1 through 5, each marked as a potential threat. The Combat Information Center team cross-references every cue. Converging courses, absence of identification, visible boarding gear, and now a confirmed attack on the helicopter. These are the markers that move a group from suspicious to high threat. The information flows quickly up the chain. Commanding officer, 5 high-threat skiffs. Hostile fire reported on Seahawk. Closing on merchant. Recommend task force notification and containment. Expert analysis supports these thresholds. Multiple skiffs acting in concert, with weapons and ladders exposed, and aggressive movement toward commercial shipping fit the established profile for a pirate action group. Each sensor, radar, infrared, and visual confirms the assessment. The unified track picture allows the ship's commanding officer to issue immediate maneuver orders, setting the stage for coordinated interception. The threat is now fully recognized, and the operation shifts from monitoring to active response. Commanding officers waste no time. Orders ripple out from the Combat Information Center, sending destroyers and cruisers surging into new positions. Each ship adjusts course and speed to close off escape routes, forming a net across the likely paths the pirate skiffs could take. The geometry of the intercept is precise. One warship angles in from the north, another from the southeast, each plotting to intercept at different bearings. The goal is containment, not pursuit. These maneuvers are rehearsed and deliberate, shaped by years of coalition operations in these waters. On the decks, rigid hull inflatable boat crews stand by. Teams in body armor check their gear, weapons secured, radios live. The boats are ready for rapid launch, tasked with boarding any skiff that surrenders or is forced to a halt. Every member knows their role. Every step is practiced from approach to search to detainment. Meanwhile, overhead, a P-8 maritime patrol aircraft circles at altitude. Its radar casts a wide net, tracking the movement of all vessels in the area and relaying updates to the surface ships below. The aircraft crew monitors the shifting positions of the pirate skiffs, confirming that none slip through the tightening cordon. The crews are ready and watchful. This multi-axis response leaves little room for escape. Warships block the north and south. Rigid hull inflatable boats prepare to close in from the flanks, and the patrol aircraft keeps watch over the entire scene. The operation relies on coordination, every asset in constant communication, every maneuver designed to keep the 5 skiffs boxed in. With the trap set, the next step is containment. Hails go out across VHF and loudspeakers, the Seahawk circling above as ships close the gap. Crews aboard the skiffs are ordered to stop their engines and prepare for inspection. When the pirates ignore the warnings, the Seahawk fires off a series of flares, bright arcs across the sky, impossible to miss. Still, the skiffs push forward, engines roaring, refusing to yield. The next step is clear and deliberate. A burst of warning shots spatters the water in front of the lead boat. the rounds landing close enough to send a message without causing harm. Only after repeated defiance does the escalation reach its final rung. The Seahawk's gunner lines up on the outboard engine of a skiff, squeezing off a short, precise burst. The engine sputters and dies, the boat drifting to a halt. The remaining skiffs, seeing the show of force, slow and cut their motors. Throughout, every action is measured. Each step follows strict rules of engagement: verbal orders, visual warnings, non-lethal fire, and only when necessary, disabling shots aimed at stopping the threat without loss of life. Rigid hull inflatable boats close in, drawing alongside the disabled skiffs as the Seahawk hovers in overwatch. Boarding teams move quickly, helmets on and weapons ready, hands signaling the pirates to remain seated. Each suspect is ordered forward, flex cuffs applied, then separated for safety. The boarding leader calls out the sequence: secure, search, document. Standard procedure demands discipline. Every weapon is photographed before removal, and each fuel drum and ladder is logged in a running inventory. AK-47 rifles, a pair of RPG launchers, several magazines, and a tangle of grappling hooks are collected and laid out on deck. A digital camera records the scene, time stamping each image for the evidence chain. Satellite phones and GPS units are sealed in bags, tagged with case numbers. The legal advisor, patched in by radio from the ship, reminds the team: every item and every statement must be cataloged for prosecution. These details become the backbone of any future case, proof that the operation followed international law, and that evidence was preserved from the moment of seizure to eventual handover. Today, over 90% of world trade still moves by sea, and piracy remains a billion-dollar threat. As global navies adapt, the line between lawlessness and safety depends on constant vigilance. The ocean is vast, but security is always measured in moments. Thanks for watching.